Hey, what's going on, everybody? I'm BJ. Welcome back to the shop. We're continuing our shop upgrade series. So, last video that y'all saw, I did the Kreg Ultimate Workbench upgrade or build. If you didn't see it, this is the 64 by 44 inch workbench. I did actually add a larger top, so mine is 49 by 68 with the additional top, and then we're gonna have a build out later for everything underneath it. So what we're doing today, if you didn't already notice, we're going to be setting up the Onefinity CNC. So the specific one that I have is the Journeyman. Big shout out to Onefinity. They did send me this machine and all the accessories with it. The only thing that I paid for was the Journeyman rail. Because I needed the additional size. I was already looking at buying one of these anyways. They were just kind enough to help me out. I've worked with this company in the past back when they were just Suck It Dust Boot. They're awesome, great company. They build a phenomenal machine. And I've been running my old machine that it's replacing is the Shapeoko 3XXL, which was a great machine. No hate against Shapeoko. I love their machine. I just needed a bigger machine, and what Shapeoko is offering now, even in their Pro Series, is still not big enough for my capacities and what I need. So decided to go ahead and go with the Onefinity, and like I said, love working with an awesome company that takes care of not only their clients but their partners, and they're great people. Love all the products that they've had out, and like I said, I've used the Suck It Dust Boot since it was the original 3D printed version 3 or 4 years ago is when I started using that, which did get the new Pro version with this one. Absolutely love it. So yeah, go over a few of the details on the machines just to show the comparison on them, and I'll have pictures up just to show the difference in them. So I said mine is the X50 Journeyman. Now, when you're looking at the title, looking at the names, the X50, that signifies the size of the rails for the X rail. The standard Y rails are 35 millimeter, plenty strong. I mean, you're not gonna, for this size, you're not gonna find anything any stronger. It's awesome. And then when you go up to the X50s, whether it be the Woodworker or the Journeyman, you're going to a 50 millimeter rail, and it's heavy. I'm not a small dude, but even just moving this over here, like you got to get underneath it. So I have no qualms about this thing being strong. When you're looking at on their website, you're looking at ordering. So there's the X35 and the X50. Both of them are a 32 by 32 cut capacity. And if you go to the X50 Journeyman, you're going up to a 32 by 48 cut capacity. And like I said, you're still getting the 35 millimeter Y rails and then the 50 millimeter X rail. I would say go ahead and, if you can afford it, go ahead and upgrade to the X50, even if you're just doing the Woodworker. With the kit, when you buy it, so what you're going to get with it is you're going to get, I said, both the rails, or all three of the rails, depending on what size you go with. You're going to get your spindle mount, and this is set up for a 65 millimeter spindle. They do have an add-on where you can go up to an 80 millimeter spindle if you're wanting to run a bigger water-cooled spindle, or a true, VFD style spindle. I more than likely will be upgrading here in the future to a air-cooled 65 millimeter spindle, just for the noise. Your standard trim routers are just ridiculously loud, and so yeah, your standard trim routers, like your Makitas, DeWalt's, whatever, they're loud. Even if you go brushless, well, I guess you can't really do brushless. They're all going to be loud. The only way to do brushless is if you're doing like a battery operated one, and I don't know if I would trust that for a long-term cut. So going with a VFD style spindle, you're going to get it's going to be a lot quieter. You're still going to have the sound of the bits and everything, but that will be one of my first big expensive upgrades to the machine. You of course get all your wires, power cable for the control box, all the wires for your X and Y and everything. And I love the fact that everything's labeled, so you're not having to guess at where to plug stuff in, and they're all wrapped. Super nice. You have the option of not getting the touch screen. I would say go ahead and do it. It's only like $100 more. And now when you're doing this, you're getting a full 10-inch touchscreen, which is awesome. They've changed the way they mount, I believe. I have to look at this. I think it is a different mounting system now. I'm probably going to end up 3D printing something for this just so I can set it in a different spot. But it's worth it to get the larger screen on that. And then this is your controller. So this is the brains of the machine. It's got a Raspberry Pi setup in here. It's got all your plugs on the back, your emergency stop switch, and then power button on the front. You have to pick this in the menu when you're ordering it. If you don't, if you're going through an order and you're thinking when they say controller that it means this is an extra accessory. You want to pick this, or you have to come up with your own solution. I say go ahead and do it. It's not that much more expensive just to go ahead and get this add-on, and then you're able to go back with Onefinity when it comes to software issues and updates and anything like that. So it's worth it. Now, as far as accessories, coolest thing that I like is the touch probe. I never had a touch probe on my old machine, which led to some issues with cuts, less accurate cuts, and different things like that. Having this it's going to make my life a lot easier when it comes to doing any kind of cuts, especially when you're doing bit changes in the middle of cuts. You're not having to guess, and it makes it awesome, especially if you're in the middle of a cut and a bit breaks. You can reset everything and go. I did get the Suck It Dust Boot. This is the Pro model. It comes with all the accessories to hook it up, and this is awesome. I'll actually link the video that I did a couple years ago on assembling this, and it's super, super simple. Now, granted, that video is adding it on to the Shapeoko, but the initial assembly of these is pretty much the same when it comes to any of them, putting on any machine. They did send me the Jenny end mill kit, which is awesome because there's a bit in here that I've been wanting to get for my old machine, and now I have it for this one. The oops clamps for T-track, which like I said, I've been running the oops clamps for years with my old machine. Absolutely love them. They're great. The accessory that I highly recommend getting is the joystick controller. It's just like an Xbox controller. It's awesome, and it's a $50 upgrade. It makes setting up the machine and moving the machine around that much easier. So it's definitely worth getting it. Like I said, it's a $50 upgrade. Why not? You can get the wired one. It's a little bit cheaper. I would say do the wireless, and there's nothing else you have to worry about. So yeah, let's get into the assembly of the machine. I'm just going to do a little voiceover while I'm doing that. And then, yeah, we'll get it together and we'll do some testing with it. So hang on. All right, so one thing I want to show y'all, and you might have to make this adjustment when you get the machine, just because in shipment stuff can get torqued around. But as you can see, it's got a little bit of a rock to it, and all you need to do is just loosen these bolts right here, front and back. And then I believe, yep, there are two on the bottom. So loosen all of these. Get everything set where it's not moving. The wrong one. And it is a 3mm hex key. I believe it feels a little loose. Let's see. It's a 3mm. Get these tightened up. And one thing that I recommend doing, I forget whose video I saw this on, but slide this over just enough where you can get to this bottom one. And then we'll do the same thing on the back. So yep, so we'll do it to both rails and then we're good. All right, and I've already got some 3D printed accessories for this just to kind of hide wires and stuff. And we'll get this up here real quick. At least we're going to attempt to. There, we're off a little bit. Whew. Make sure you eat your Wheaties before you do this. It ain't light. So then you will use the X mounting bolts with the, and they are a 6mm. I'm going to wait to tighten these up until I get them all in. Like I said before, it's super, super easy installation. I think honestly at this point, like when it comes to some of the other machines, like you're probably not even done unboxing when you're at this point. And I have a feeling over time using this, you're going to want to check these bolts. I would almost say I might even pull these and put some Loctite on them, which I'm going to reach out to Shapeoko about that. I don't know if you can, if they recommend putting Loctite on these. I don't know. I'll find out. All right. So got that done. I'm going to adjust you over here a little bit. And then what we're going to do is I would like to have that space open a little bit more over there. So we're going to slide it over this way. We're going to slide it forward as far as we can. So I'm going to go ahead and pop a screw on this real quick, and then we'll go from there. All right, so we're going to go ahead and put this corner screw in. You only got to put one in it first. So I'll just go right here. And up in here. I'm going to loosen up a little bit. All right, so now what you're going to do is grab a hold of the center rail and pull it all the way forward. Yeah. Helps if you lock your table down too so it doesn't roll. All right, so now that we got everything squared up on the front, pop another screw in, and then we'll slide it all the way to the back. All right, so now that we got the front down, which I'm going to retighten all this stuff up real quick. All right, so now that that's done, we'll do the opposite. Push it all the way to the back. And again, if your table's on wheels, lock it down because this does take some force. And what this is doing by pulling it all the way back, this is squaring up your machine. Now that that's done, you can pop everything in. Okay, so far all I've done now is I've just put 2 screws in each corner because we're going to go ahead and get everything else hooked up and then test it. I just want to make sure everything works. So I'm going to bring this back to me. And then we're going to put on the Z-axis. All right, so got everything together. You're going to have these 4 little hex keys, hex bolts for the Z-axis. And there are 3 different holes. I honestly would say go with the middle. We'll go ahead and pop one in here real quick. Drop it. Stick my big head in front of the camera so y'all can't see what I'm doing. Just loosely get that in for now. We'll come back and do the rest. Move the spindle mount up a little bit to get to the bottom too. And then there's some tramming steps and stuff that you need to go through too, and we'll go through that later, or I'll probably just go through that off camera. And then there's that, and then you plug in this cable right here. So the Z-axis is hooked up. So now we're going to plug everything else in and just do a test. Like I was saying before, everything is labeled. So these 2 that are bundled together are your Z and X axis. So we'll just drop those right there. These are both your Y axis, and since I've got the Journeyman, it's got the extra long cable. Just plug that one in there if I can find the hole.
That's what she said.
And there's Y2, because why not? And then that's going to plug into your controller. So let me get the controller real quick. Oh, hold on. We'll plug in the others. So, and we'll look at this. So you've got your Z and X. I'll swing you around here so you can see. So this is for your Z. This is for your X. So just make sure you plug them in the right ones. So Z goes there. X goes there. So we'll set that out of the way for right now. Let me grab the controller. Okay, so back side of the controller. Like I said, everything's labeled. So you got M1, M2, M0, and M3, and they plug in their respected spots. So we got M2. M3. All right. All right, got everything plugged in. And we'll bring you over here real quick just to see. So everything's plugged into the back side. Display's all hooked up. So we're good there. So let's go ahead. I'm going to rotate that right there. We're going to power this thing up. So leave. Display gets turned on first. So one thing I have noticed just by setting this up, I am going to replace this mount. I'm going to find another way to mount it, get some longer cables, because the main control board is going to go in under the cabinet. And I kind of want this set over here just so it's out of the way. And this mount's kind of flimsy. So I'm probably just going to order like just an iPad or tablet mount off Amazon. And then we'll go from there. I'll let it completely boot. It's going to go into the Onefinity software. So it looks like we're connected. So we're going to go and cancel that. All right, then we're going to go ahead and home it. All right, looks like we're homed. Let's back y'all up here. Let's move it around a little bit. Yeah, that's it. All right, so one of the things I did a little different than everybody else is I actually had an old router laying around. Pull this off real quick. That I ordered for my previous CNC. So this is the router that we're going to be using. Now the beauty is it is a 65 millimeter. So it should slide right down in here. Mine's a little stuck. Slide right in there. Get it adjusted right where we want it to. There we go. That goes over there. Alright. There we go. So we're going to change one other thing. So this is one of the other things I absolutely love about this CNC. Pop this off for the dust hose. So that comes up, and then that fits in right there. Make sure we got enough slack. Now they do recommend the Makita router. This is the Carbide 3D. It's essentially just like a knockoff of the Carbide, or of the Makita. Works the same. It's got the same dual pins or dual tool setup. Plenty of room. And once we get the wasteboard in, we're good to go. Well, there she is. There's the new Onefinity Journeyman CNC. It's a beast. I need to come up with a clever name for it or something. We got the wasteboard done. Did mine a little different, as y'all can see, than everybody else. Everybody does theirs vertically. I did mine horizontally. We're going to see if we like it. I did notice I came up a little bit short back here in the back, so I think I'm going to add just one more piece of MDF across the back just to give, something to mount stuff to or whatever. I probably won't do any holes or anything in it. But yeah, I'm going to love it because I can use T-track, threaded inserts, or the dog holes, which gives you all different kinds of options. Majority of the time, honestly, I'm going to use a pin nailer to nail stuff down anyways. So there's that. But yeah, super easy to build. If you have any questions, leave a comment down below. Again, feel free to like and subscribe. I do appreciate that on all my videos. I appreciate all my followers who watch my content. Yeah, we got a couple videos coming up here a little bit later. So we'll check on the next one. Love y'all.